Understanding the expenses associated with your daily life in Canada, especially for new immigrants or intending ones, is very crucial because it would help you plan your budget and make informed financial decisions. And for those outside Canada who are planning to relocate, it would give you an idea of what you're getting yourself into. Hello, family. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to come to you all with another video. So, in today's video, I'll be breaking down the day-to-day cost of living in Canada. I will go from housing to transportation to groceries and healthcare. In fact, guys, I will try to cover it all, basically giving you the average cost of living for both singles and those with families. All right? If you're ready for this video, let's dive right in. The number one expense or the number one cost on my list is housing costs. I am starting from housing costs because housing costs typically form a significant portion of the monthly expenses, both for homeowners and renters. It's one of the bill you cannot escape, except you're living with someone, of course, who is paying the house bill. But if you're not, it's a bill that you cannot escape. Rent cost varies depending on your location, size, and the type of accommodation that you're looking for. In major cities like Toronto and Vancouver, the average monthly rent for one bedroom apartment can range from 1,500 Canadian dollars to 2,500 Canadian dollars. And it depends on the areas in these big cities that you want to reside in. For where I live, which is Alberta, you can get more affordable options like one bedroom for average cost of 900 to 1,200 and two bedroom for 2,300 to 2,500 Canadian dollars. It also depends on the location. So it is very important to research housing options, especially in the province that you are going to relocate to or the province that you are in. And if you're a single person or a student, you can consider the shared accommodation option. Shared accommodation options will in some way help you reduce cost in this area of expense. All right, for families, you can explore suburb areas to find more affordable alternatives. For example, here in Calgary, you have downtown and then you have other areas. If your office is in downtown, you can get maybe a house that is a bit farther from downtown. Those houses might be cheaper. All right, or just areas that are really farther from the main city tend to be a bit more affordable than living in the main city itself. All right, now let's talk about utilities and internet. Utilities here include electricity, heating, and water. These are additional expenses that you have to consider. When I came to Canada, I thought they were not that much to worry about. But hey, guys, when you add up all the bills, when you add everything up, then you start to understand the magnitude of the things that you have to pay for. So no matter how small they seem, they do add up, all right? On average, these costs can range from 100 Canadian dollars to 150 dollars per month. Internet services, on the other hand, are very essential. You guys know that they are very essential in today's digital world. And the average monthly cost for internet ranges from $50 to $100, depending on the plan and the provider. If you buy a new phone, they can add the payment plan with the internet service, and the amount depends on the company and the plan. All right. Number three is transportation. Transportation costs can vary depending on the location and the commuting needs. All right. You remember I advised newcomers earlier to consider living in suburbs, whereas if the rate of housing is higher in the main cities, especially for families or even students. But when considering this option, think about locations that have seamless commute. Okay, um, think about where you can easily move by train or bus to your workplace or your school without much hassle. Public transportation fares vary between provinces, all right, with monthly prices ranging from 80 Canadian dollars to 130 Canadian dollars. If you plan to own a car, which of course makes things a bit easier, expenses will include car payments, that is if you buy through financing, insurance payment for your car, and the fueling and maintenance. Car insurance can range from 1,500 to 2,500, 2,000 Canadian dollars per year. All right. While fuel costs can vary based on distance, travel, and of course, vehicle efficiency. The next expense is groceries and dining. Grocery expenses depends on various factors, including family size, dietary preferences, and location. On average, a family of four can spend around 800 to 1,200 Canadian dollars per month on groceries alone. And guys, this can go much more higher depending on the ages of your children and all of that. A friend of mine whose children are much older than mine spend double of this amount on groceries every month, even more, right? Because her kids eat more often and of course in larger quantities. So guys, prepare for that if that's your case. Another one is dining out. All right, this can be an additional expense for people who like to eat out. I know a lot of single people who wouldn't like to cook all the time and you like to eat out. A basic restaurant meal here would cost you 15 Canadian dollars to 25 Canadian dollars per person. Cooking option can help manage this cost. This is something that a cost that you can manage. You can cook, to help you manage this cost. Let's look at healthcare and insurance expenses. So, in Canada, basic healthcare is provided through publicly funded healthcare system known as Medicare. However, some services, medications, and dental care may not be covered in this, all right? So that's where you have private health insurance plans, coming to cover up these additional medical expenses and prescriptions, all right? The cost of private health insurance varies depending on coverage, family size, and of course the provider. On the average, expect to pay around $50 to 200 Canadian dollars per month for health insurance. The next one is education costs. If you have children, education cost is an important aspect to consider. I know you've all heard or you already know by now that Canadian education is free from early years, that's the kindergarten, and stops when they get to the tertiary institution. Well, this only applies to public schools, but there may be additional expenses like school supplies and extracurricular activities. The public schools in Canada are of great standard, as we all know, and of course we have Catholic schools, and those are also free. But if you decide you want your kids in a private school, then the government would not be responsible for the cost of that. Post-secondary education, including tuition fees, varies based on the institution and program. So as soon as your kids get to that level, you start to pay for those fees, except they gain scholarships, of course, that would help you offset the cost. Next is childcare expenses. A lot of people came to Canada with younger children or younger kids, or of course gave birth here in Canada. Childcare costs vary depending on the type of care and the location. Daycare centers can cost around $1,000 to $2,000 per month for one child. I know, right? It's very expensive. And nannies or in-home care may even cost higher, all right? For these costs, government subsidies and assistance programs are available to help newcomers offset childcare expenses, but you have to be eligible. Okay, so it's very important to research these programs and the options that are available in your province. For me, as a new immigrant, the childcare cost for my little son at a den was about 1,000 every month. But the government paid up 80% of that amount, like on monthly basis, and I had to just pay the rest, all right, until he got to the kindergarten class. Also, something to take note of is that you have to be eligible to be qualified for this. So you go check out what's available in your province and apply. The next one that we need to talk about is entertainment and recreation. Entertainment and recreation expenses varies and of course depends on personal preferences. Costs can include movie tickets, gym memberships, recreational activities and hobbies. Budgeting for entertainment expenses can range from 100 Canadian dollars to 300 per month, depending on individual choices and lifestyle. All right. For people with kids, you don't really need to spend much for your kids to have fun here. All right. There are so many well equipped recreational parks that your kids will enjoy, and it's completely free. The next inevitable expense are taxes. As we all know, Canada has a progressive tax system, which means that the amount of taxes you pay depends on the income you make. All right. Income tax ranges from 15% to 33% depending on your earnings. So it's important to understand your tax obligations and, of course, consider them when budgeting for your living expenses. For newcomers who are still within the low income bracket, this might not be so significant for you. But as you grow in your income, the costs for your taxes would also increase. So just take note of that. The more money you make, the more tax you pay. Additionally, let's talk about saving strategies and financial assistance. Saving strategies such as budgeting, tracking expenses, and finding ways to reduce costs are very essential for managing your finances effectively in Canada, especially as a new immigrant. Explore financial assistance programs available to new immigrants, such as government subsidies, tax credits, and support from immigrant settlement agencies. These are very important. Resources can help, reduce the financial burden and provide assistance during your settlement period as new immigrants. Understanding the expenses associated with housing, utilities, groceries, transportation, healthcare, education, childcare, entertainment, and taxes will help you plan and manage your budget effectively as a newcomer. All right. So I want you to take note of all that we have talked about in this video and plan ahead of time, budget ahead of time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you have any question, please hit me up in the comment section, okay? Wishing you success in navigating your financial journey and building a comfortable life in Canada. Go check out this video. All right? See you all in my next video. Bye.